What is up, guys? Delboy here, bringing you another episode of Prospect Watch, where we look at the best prospects in boxing from around the world. And today we are going to be looking at Croatian heavyweight Filip Hrgovic. Filip Hrgovic is 26 years old. He is 6'6". He's a big, powerful guy, and also he is a former amateur standout. He won a gold medal at the 2010 Youth World Boxing Championships. He also won a gold medal at the 2015 European Championships. And most notably, he won a bronze medal in the Rio 2016 Olympic Games. Now, a lot of people in those games actually felt he beat Tony Yoka and he got robbed in that fight. I personally felt Hrgovic won that fight, and I can see where those people are coming from. But regardless, Filip Hrgovic was a standout amateur. He was one of the best in the world for a considerable period of time. And, that is testament to his ability because, the heavyweight division over recent years in the amateurs has been quite strong. So the fact that Hrgovic was one of the best in the world for several years just highlights his quality, in my opinion. And it looks like he's bringing that into the pro game. He is already 7-0 with 5 knockouts. He made his pro debut in September 2017, and already he has wins over the likes of tough journeymen such as Kevin Johnson, Amir Mansour, Sean Turner, Tom Little. He already has these recognisable journeymen on his resume, and it kind of indicates he's being moved at a fair pace. I don't think you're going to see Filip Hrgovic 20-0 without fighting anybody. I think they want to move him at a good speed. And, in the near future, I expect Hrgovic to, step up in terms of taking risky fights. But right now, as far as I'm concerned, Hrgovic, he's looked good as a pro. His style is actually fairly unique. His style is reminiscent of Vitaly Klitschko. That is kind of who he resembles the most, but I wouldn't say he has Vitaly Klitschko's power. Hrgovic can clearly hit quite hard. He has snap on his punches, but I don't think he has that heavy-handedness of Vitaly. But, they fight in a similar style. Filip Hrgovic, he kind of uses his reflexes and athletic ability as his form of defense. He's got nice quick feet for a heavyweight. He likes to get in and out of range. He'll lean back to avoid punches. Much like Vitaly, he sets up a lot of his work off his jab. He's a good combination puncher. For a heavyweight, Hrgovic has respectable hand speed. And, I think that is because he doesn't really load up on his punches. A lot of his punches, like Vitaly's, are actually arm punches. Filip Hrgovic rarely loads up. Hrgovic, he starts to load up when he is wearing you down, when he's got you on the brink. That's when Hrgovic really starts to sit down on his punches. But, before then, he's content to box. He's content to be active with his jab and, land combinations, get in and out, and make the most of his hand speed, foot speed, and world-class athleticism. Hrgovic, he doesn't just rely on his athletic ability and, his speed, his foot speed, etc. He's also fairly good technically. Hrgovic, he's not quite as hands down as Vitaly Klitschko, so Hrgovic will, use more of a guard. Hrgovic actually has fairly good timing in his right hand. He's got really quick hand-eye coordination, so when a shot becomes available or when his opponent overextends, he's really quick to come back with that counter right hand and to make his opponents pay. So I like that aspect of him too, good timing, good accuracy, good punch technique in his jab and right hand. Also, he can go down to the body as well. I've seen him mix it up when his opponents are stationary or on the ropes. His offense is fairly advanced for a big heavyweight. So offensively, Hrgovic, he looks the part. People are saying he lacks power. Maybe, like I said, to me, he just doesn't really sit down on his punches until he knows he has you in a pickle, until he knows that you are depleted. Once he knows that you're not really a threat, that's when Hrgovic really starts to put it on you. But in the meantime, like I said, he's content to box. He's content to make you miss, make you chase the fight, and deplete you that way. As Hrgovic steps up to world level, I can see him getting a lot of late stoppages due to accumulation, to be quite honest. That's the type of fighter he is, from what I can see. I don't think you are going to see Hrgovic knock guys out with one shot too often. He's not that type of puncher, and, the stoppages will come late, in my opinion. But all in all, Hrgovic to date has been very impressive in the pro ranks. He hasn't been perfect, he does need to tighten up on his defence. I mean, like I said, his style is very, very reliant on his athletic ability, and occasionally he does get caught. So, for example, in the Sean Turner fight, he got caught by quite a few jabs. In the Tom Little fight, he got caught with a few body shots here and there, and a couple of looping Tom Little shots. So, he does switch off at times, and defensively sometimes he does get caught. And going forwards, I think he needs to tighten that up, especially when he steps through the levels. When he fights bigger punches, that could be a concern. But it is also worth mentioning, Hrgovic in the amateurs actually showed a pretty solid chin. In fact, from what I can remember, I don't think Hrgovic has ever been hurt in the amateurs. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I can't remember it. So he always showed a good chin in the amateurs, which will be handy in the heavyweight division. So that's a good thing. But regardless, he does need to tighten up going forwards, because at times, he does have a few defensive lapses here and there. So defensively, he does need to tie up. But all in all, he has been fairly impressive as a pro so far. And also another thing to mention, he is signed with Sauerland, but he signed a co-promotional deal with Matchroom USA. So chances are we'll see this guy fight in the States fairly shortly. And, if he's fighting in the States, there are some guys over there he could get stuck into. I mean, the last fight Hrgovic had was against Kevin Johnson. I think a decent little step up would be somebody like Eric Molina. Eric Molina, he's a limited guy. He's fairly basic, but he can punch. He's a big heavyweight and he's experienced. I don't think Eric Molina would be a bad next step for Filip Hrgovic, to be honest. I think that would be a good look for him. And from now on, I think we are going to see Hrgovic, get the fast track. People are aware of who he is, and he's going to want to get to that summit of the heavyweight division sooner rather than later, because there's big money to be made up there. Also, another fight worth mentioning for Filip Hrgovic is a fight with his fellow countryman Petar Milas. Now, Petar Milas is also a Croatian prospect, and Milas has beaten guys like Francesco Pianetta and Kevin Johnson, so he's got a couple of notable journeymen on his resume. Both guys are quite young. I think Milas is about 23 years old, whereas Hrgovic is 26. So if you get those guys to fight fairly soon, I think that would make a really good fight in Croatia. That'd be a really good look, actually. So Hrgovic, he's a very good prospect. He's a guy I rate highly. I enjoy his style of fighting. Like I said, very reminiscent of Vitaly Klitschko. And I believe he can go a long way. I've said on this channel in the past, my two standout heavyweight prospects right now are Filip Hrgovic and F.A. Ajagba for different reasons, but I believe these guys are, really, really good talents, to be honest. But share your thoughts below. What do you make of Filip Hrgovic? Peace.